Today is a very sad day for Real Madrid fans. Last night I made a video whether Benzema is going to leave or is he going to stay. Unfortunately today he decided that he's going to leave. As a result, today we are not going to discuss about the performance against Athletic Club. Rather, we're going to focus what's going on with our club.
Luis, what's the vibe in Spain with Benzema making that decision to leave?
Well, for me, the most important, guys, is that it surprised me that he said 24 hours before that, no, that was only rumors, that's something that maybe wasn't going to happen. Then 24 hours after, he just decided that he was leaving, that he was going to move out far from Real Madrid. And I think that kind of got everybody on shock because Benzema has been a key player this season, of course, for the past few years, but definitely everybody was counting on him for the transition period that is going to be Real Madrid in the next coming months or probably years. Because if you see that Benzema is going to go, Hazard, Mariano, probably Asensio, and probably Nacho, and even some more players, Real Madrid is going to have to make a big investment.
So Benzema said to Marca that don't listen to online. So by that line, most of Real Madrid fans inferred that he's going to stay. So my question to Benz, if you have decided you are going to leave, why would you say that?
Everybody's on shock because this one is one of the most important players for the club. And now seeing him departing, yes, you don't see anyone else filling that gap because it's a massive gap that he's leaving.
Harry Kane, of course, has been the man that's been linked heavily, Luis. Does that make sense to you?
Any kind of player who can score plus 24 goals plus every single season is going to give you a nod. It's going to give you a chance of winning a trophy. If you have to share that in all the positions, it's not going to be easy. But there's not many players like this one. Harry Kane is one of them, but he's been wanting for quite a few clubs in the past few years, and they have always find it very tricky to take him away from Tottenham. You know that the chairman is very difficult to deal with, and now it's Manchester United. He's been linked also with the move for the players, so it's gonna be a big fight. But again, I heard also that Kai Havertz could be another player, but it's a totally different player. I'm not sure if the people is gonna be happy with Kai Havertz just moving on to Real Madrid, because definitely not the style of player that Real Madrid needs at the moment.
So in my last video, I explained why Harry Kane is the perfect replacement for Benzema for Real Madrid. Because both of them have very similar play style. Both of them like to link up with other players. Both of them like to create chances. And both of them like score goals. And even if you look at the current stat of Harry Kane, look at 32 goals and 5 assists. Benz has 31 goals after today and 6 assists. So that's also pretty similar. And don't forget, who is playing Benzema with, who is Kane playing with? The midfield is totally different. In my opinion, Harry Kane would score more goals with Real Madrid compared to Spurs, given the players who have. Only downside with Harry Kane, he's a little older. That's the only issue with me. Another player being mentioned is Havertz. I don't think he's the best replacement for Benzema. He could be a good sub. He can play different positions. Like he can also play right wing. He can play as a cam. He can also play center forward. He's not a starting 11 player, in my opinion. But if we can get Harry Kane, we can get Havertz and Joselio, I think that would give us a very good squad depth for next season.
I want to get your thoughts on Benzema. How much did this surprise Real Madrid?
I don't think it surprised them, in the sense that I don't think it surprised them that this was on his mind, that this was something he was contemplating, because he's been thinking about it for quite a while. I think he was relatively direct with them in terms of saying, this is what I would like to do, this is what I'm planning to do. I think the surprise came maybe that it's for right now, maybe not for the end of next season. Now, what happened with Benzema's contract was essentially that there's a Ballon d'Or clause. Ballon d'Or, and you automatically renew. Now, of course, there's an assumption there that you automatically renew because that's a clause that's there designed to benefit the player. But in this case, of course, it's the player who says, well, actually, I don't want it to automatically renew. I'm going to go. And I think over the last 24 hours, there's been a little bit of a scenario in which Real Madrid have been trying to persuade him, say, look, stay for another year, don't go yet. Let's have that clause applied and we'll keep you. And obviously, if you are going to go, it'd be great if wherever you go to can pay us a transfer fee. But in the end, I think when you've got a player like Benzema who's achieved what he has at Real Madrid and behaved as well the way that he has in terms of his relationship with Real Madrid, because this isn't a player, unlike so many, that has threatened to leave before, that has used interest from other clubs to get better contracts. It's someone who's always just said, right, next contract, yep, you put it on the table, I'll sign it, we move on. And of course, the other thing with Benzema is...
Listen, Real Madrid is a club who don't force players to stay against their will. When a player like Benzema, who has given Real Madrid so much, just think about his performance. After CR7 left, Real Madrid was isolated. Since then, he's the one player who was carrying Real Madrid. And as a result, Real Madrid saw success in last season. I mean, look at his legacy here. 5-time Champions League, 4-time La Liga champion, and 3 Copa del Rey. Those are major trophies you can win for Real Madrid. And don't forget, he also won Ballon d'Or for Real Madrid. So if he decides that he wants to leave, I think it's time to leave. I understand that as a fan, it hurts because we don't have best replacement yet. However, don't forget, CR7 also left when he was on his prime. So I think when players leave on their best, it's also good for their legacy.
He's become a better player as his career's gone on. So I think actually this in a way suits everybody. Real Madrid were a little bit surprised about the timing, but not about the fact of it.
And now we...
To be fair, everyone was shocked when we hear the news that Benzema is going to leave because no one ever thought about that.
have a fun summer, Sid, discussing who's going to come and replace him.
Oh, what joy. That's what we want, isn't it? To be spending the summer speculating over this. And again, you know, let's go back to that timing. As you say, we've now got that summer of speculation, partly because Real Madrid's planning was all built around the idea that maybe Mbappe becomes available in 2024.
Listen, last couple of seasons, all Real Madrid wanted is to get Mbappe. Every decision was dependent on him. We missed out Haaland just because we were waiting for Mbappe.
We just need to bridge the gap to there. Of course, they've bought Endrick as well, who is a player that they think will be absolutely brilliant up front, but he's only, I think he's now just turned 17. You know, this is someone you're going to need time for. So the timings of this are not quite right. And as you say, that now puts us into this period of speculation, which is who do you get in the meantime? What does that mean for your long-term planning? Because if your long-term planning is about Mbappe, what kind of player do you get in now? What kind of age of player do you get in now? And how do you make all of those pieces fit together?
I think that's a very strong point by Sid, because in my last video, I discussed that point a little bit. If we get Kane said this season, because we have no other option as Benzema is leaving, will that transfer will block other potential transfer in the future? Because ultimately what we are looking for Mbappe. We're also looking for Haaland. So we are kind of in a turmoil. Should we think about future or should we think about now? So anyway, let me know, how do you feel about this whole Benzema saga?